know about you, but I feel like things are kind of coming apart at the seams right now. There's an all-out war on our creature comforts. Gas stoves were first, remember? They weren't going to come for them, but they ended up doing that. And then it was dishwashers. And now it's our water heaters? I mean, if I had a suspicious mind, I'd think it was all orchestrated or something kind of nefarious. And what's next? Our summer barbecues? I mean, everything we enjoy is being taken away from us. There's definitely an air of exasperation, and our workers in this country are feeling it too. The headlines are ominous when you look at all the numbers. The workers at UPS are threatening a strike. Yellow truckers are also talking about one as well. We also have the writers and actors that have already acted, and the UAW may walk out too. That doesn't add up to be anything good. Simply put, this is a direct result of real declining wages with inflation eating into your paycheck. Period. End of story. Now throw in the fact that they're taking away all your creature comforts and you've got a real tinderbox on your hands, like nothing we haven't seen since the 1970s. Now, our next guest has mentioned a few of these things herself. Please welcome to the show, Rebecca Walser. Rebecca, thank you very much for taking the time on a busy Monday. But it just seems like things are kind of starting to fall apart a little bit, if you ask me.
Yeah, and this is not the time, Scott, that we can have any dominoes fall. I mean, we are in such a precarious situation, globally, but I'll even just talk about the G7 with, potentially canceling treasury auctions because we think they'll go no bid or they'll go horribly. So we're already in such a precarious situation. Any kind of wage or, strike inflection is a problem. So United, auto workers, basically, we're talking about their contracts are ending in September, their union contracts, they have to renegotiate, and real wage growth is negative. So I know Bidenomics likes to tout, real wage growth is positive, but when you look at it in comparison to CPI and cost of inflation, then you're looking at real negative wage growth. And so these people are mad that they're seeing profits off the charts. They don't understand why that's happening, and they know that they are actually suffering. So we can't afford UAW to go on strike in September. We've got the Teamsters now with UPS. That's a whole nother issue that is happening. So, and then you've got obviously the head of AMC, I know you're going to talk about it, Scott, coming out with a letter today stating that, they have to be able to access capital markets, and the strike between the Actors Guild and the writers with Hollywood is going to impact their 2024 and 2025 lineups such that they might have problem raising capital in equity markets. So this is a huge impact economically right when we are already in such a precarious state. I mean, you and I keep talking about every little thing that's going wrong, and if anything is a tinderbox and lights, the whole thing is an explosion economically, globally, because we are that close to global transition. So this is very alarming and concerning that all of these contracts didn't get renegotiated when cost of labor and wages and everything was a lot cheaper with the cost of capital. Now, after all of the Fed's rate hikes, now everything is getting renegotiated. It's really hard.
Right. And when it comes down to it, there seems to be a certain part of society that just doesn't care. I mean, I think the bottom 2/3 of America are definitely feeling this inflation bite, the strains and stresses, like you said, Teamsters, the yellow truck strike, the actors and screenwriters. That whole swath of America is definitely feeling that pain. And there are other studies out that suggest that now maybe some of the stuff that you went up in value that was good for you, like your home or other things that went up with inflation, are now starting to turn over and go lower. But food is still going up. So we could have the world's worst situation where we've got deflation except for what you really need to stay alive, okay?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
On top of that, they're telling us, I cannot believe that they're coming after, gas heaters, your dishwasher, your stove. Until we have China and India on board, whatever we do here doesn't mean anything. And so I want to ask Bernstein or whomever's going around touting Bidenomics, hey, how about this?
Yes.
Give up your job for climate change, and then we might be able to have a conversation. How about that?
And that's the thing. They will not address the fact that if you go to pure green energy, you can't fly. That's it. Commercial aviation is dead it's over as an industry. So they will never address that there is no green alternative to commercial aviation. Like, what's the alternative? And then that means that we're going to have to accept a lifestyle of a lot less mobility, which we don't like. There's a lot of us that travel a lot and we rely on those planes. So this is the thing. They want it to push us in a direction. They don't want to address the actual science or tell us what kind of lifestyle we're going to have once we get there, because they know what it looks like, and it's not something the American public or the world will accept. But we just can't have, Scott, anything. I mean, I've talked to you multiple times. If anything touches off with, Taiwan, China, the economy is going to collapse.
Right.
Anything that happens. We've got the regional banks, the big banks. Everything is so precariously on edge that we can't have anything else happen. I just can't believe everything is just piling up, and it's scary. It's very actually alarming.
It's one of those things where you start to read all the things that are out there, like, how did we get in this position? Because you know what? Everything that you just said, I totally agree with. But I'm going to throw one thing on top of it. At least we have all the oil wait a minute. We've drained the petroleum reserve down to levels we haven't seen since 1983. So we could have some sort of issue on our hands, and we're not going to have the oil to do it. I mean, this is unbelievable that we've exported our energy freeness to, say, even China, and now we're importing things that just don't work, and then we might have to go to some problem. I mean, into some sort of conflict. It's just unbelievable.
And Scott, just one more thing on top of that I will just add. It's also the Fed. They can't bail us out with over an $8 trillion balance sheet. They can't bail us out if we collapse again. Yeah. So that's right. That there's no backstop. That's the problem.
We've had our once in 100 bailout. We got to wait another 100 years for the next bailout again. You're right. You're so right. Thank you very much.